Okay, so I told you guys yesterday that you would love synthetic division, especially after you've done long division. Synthetic division is by far the coolest, providing that the divisor, the term that you're dividing by, has a leading coefficient of 1. If it doesn't have a leading coefficient of 1, then you end up with fractions, and you might as well do it the long way, okay? So the only time that we use synthetic division is when our leading coefficient of our divisor is 1. All right, can I come stand over here? Okay, so here we go. So the steps, you set up a chart using the root. So if we're dividing by the polynomial, x minus 4. So we're taking 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus x minus 12, and we're dividing that by x minus 4. You guys don't need your computers. Close them. You don't need your computers open. Just go ahead and close them. I'm going to ask you, well, if the factor is x minus 4, then that means that the root is 4. We all understand that, right? This is the factor. This is the root. Remember, the root is the opposite of the factor, okay? So now I'm just going to look at the leading coefficients of each one of the terms in my polynomial. Positive 2, I write that. Negative 7, negative 1, and negative 12. So now we're going to use synthetic division. So the first thing that you do is you draw an arrow. We're just dropping this 2 all the way down. We perform synthetic division using multiplication. We're going to take 4 times 2. What is 4 times 2? 8. That's going to go right here. And we add these. Let's see. Negative 7 and positive 8 gives me 1. What is 4 times 1? It's 4. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. What is 4 times 12? Sorry, 4 times 3 is 12. A negative 12 and a positive 12 is 0. So if I started out with x cubed, you know that this is going to start off with x squared, right? So we're taking away one of the exponents. We're dividing by a factor of x to the first power. So this is going to be x squared. So my quotient is 2x squared plus 1x plus 3. This is your remainder. So you don't have a remainder, right? You don't have a remainder. So this means that x minus 4 divides this polynomial perfectly. Let's try it again. So if my factor is x plus 3, what is my root? It's negative 3. Yep. So I'm going to put a negative 3 here. Okay. So leading coefficients. What is the leading coefficient of the first term? 1. What's the leading coefficient of the next term? Negative 2. And then, okay. So we take our first term and we are going to drive it straight down. We add these, like this whole bar right here is addition. And remember that this is the multiply row. I don't know if that'll help you or not. So I'm bringing down my 1. What is negative 3 times 1? It's negative 3. What is negative 2 plus negative 3? Negative 5. What is negative 3 times negative 5? It's a positive 15. What is a negative 6 and a positive 15? It's a positive 9. What is negative 3 times 9? It's negative 27. Negative 9 and negative 27 give me negative 36. So I started with an x cubed, so this is 1x squared minus 5x plus 9 plus negative 36 over the factor x plus 3, right? How do we feel about that? You think it's better than long division or not? Not? Okay, so you like it better? I think it depends. I think it takes you either love it or you hate it. Okay, you either love it or you hate it. The cool thing is that you can use whatever method you want, right? I just want you to get the correct answer. So flip over your little synthetic division to the back sheet. We did questions 1 and 2 yesterday using long division. We're going to do 3 and 4 using synthetic division. So I have 3x to the 4th minus 5x squared plus 6x minus 5, and it's going to be divided by x minus 3. Remember that this is my factor, so what is my root? Yeah, my root is positive 3, so that's going to go here first. The other thing I want you to notice is you have an x to the 4th power and an x squared. You need to kind of insert a 0x cubed. You have to remember that you have to go in standard form or descending order. Can't skip any powers. So first coefficient is 3. The next one is going to be 0, then negative 5, then 6, and then your last term, negative 5. Okay. So remember, we take the first coefficient. We're going to just kind of drive it straight down. Remember, this is your addition space, and everything here is going to get multiplied. So 3 times 3 is 9. 0 plus 9 is 9. 3 times 9 is negative 5 plus 27 is 3 times 22 is 6 plus 66 is 3 times 72 is 206, 206, 216, right? 216. Negative 5 plus 216 is 211. When you think about these terms, if you started with an x to the 4th, this is your x cubed term, this is your x squared term, this is your x term, this is your constant, this is your remainder. Okay? So let's see what that's going to look like. So I have 3x cubed plus 9x squared plus 22x plus 72 plus 211 over the divisor, which is x minus 3. That's ugly. What does that tell you? Just tells you that 3 is not a factor of that. Like 3 is not a 0. That polynomial does not cross at the root 3. That's what that tells you. If it did, you wouldn't have a remainder. Okay? Let's look at number 4. So number 4 is x to the 4th plus 2x cubed minus 4x squared minus 5. And this is going to be divided by x plus 3. So if my factor is x plus 3, what is my root? Negative 3. So I have x to the 4th, x to the 3rd, x to the 2nd. I don't have any x to the 1st. So I'm going to make sure I squeeze in a 0x. I don't want to forget about that. So my leading coefficient, let's see, I have a 1, and then a 2, and then a negative 4. Don't forget about your little guy 0, and then that negative 5. Bring this first term straight down. Remember, this is where you add, and this is where you multiply. So I'm bringing down my 1. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. Negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. Negative 3 times negative 1 is 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. And negative 5 plus negative 9 is negative 14. So this is my x cubed, this is my x squared, this is my x, and this is my constant. This is my remainder. So my final answer is x cubed minus x squared minus x plus 3. Hang on a second. Plus negative 14 over x plus 3. And you could write it as minus 14 over x plus 3, but I feel like that helps you remember that that 14 was negative. What are we thinking? Okay, so here's what I want. I want to go to your homework from last night. Homework from last night. Because we did some problems together, right?
Yeah.
So you guys had to do all of page 7. We did 1 and 2 of page 8 together. Let's do 4. You guys did this as homework. This was your last night's homework and last night's homework. Let's try doing 4 using the synthetic division. Okay? I don't want to do 6 because my leading, I'm not dividing by binomial that has a leading coefficient of 1. So 4 is a good one to do. So let's do number 4. So someone explain to me how to set it up. Who feels like they can walk us through it? Kane. Good job. Root is positive 8. Keep going. Yep. Perfect. Keep going. You're doing great. So 1 times 8 is? Okay. Perfect. So that's negative 40. Perfect. We at 56. Perfect. Good job, Kane. So I have x, I don't want that to look like that. I have x squared minus 5x plus 7 plus 5 over x minus 8. How do we feel about that? Good? Okay, so number 7 and number 9 at the bottom of this page, number 7 and number 9, I would like you to do those as homework, but really I just want you to do them right now. I'm going to stop this.